Welcome to this week's market drama. We'll begin with the S&P 500, which was up 4%. NASDAQ was up even more, 6% for the week. They were both up 18% for the year so far. So what were the drivers? At the single stock level, NVIDIA, which accounts for 6% of the S&P 500 and even more for NASDAQ, was up more than 13% after their CEO spoke at a Goldman conference and gave a very positive outlook on artificial intelligence and the demand for NVIDIA's products. On the more macro level, there was a lot of positive sentiment heading into next week ahead of the FOMC meeting, where the Federal Reserve is expected to start cutting rates. And on the more call it economic data front, we did have CPI data for August come out this past week. Now, core CPI came in as expected around 3.2%. When you look at it month over month, it was up 0.3%, which was above forecast. But nearly all of the, in essence, the inability for that number to be lower is driven by shelter prices, rent, home prices. And as we recalled mentioning in a few of these market dramas, this is the stickiest part of inflation. It takes a lot longer to bring that number down. There's also supply constraints for homes, which kind of keeps that inflation from coming lower. But outside of rent and home prices, there were a lot of encouraging numbers of prices declining for categories like vehicles, personal and medical care, recreation, etc. So as we mentioned in the past, CPI number, good indicator when you look at it over a couple months. You don't want to be stuck looking at just one data point. Nonetheless, it was a reminder, right, that inflation is not coming down in a straight line. There are encouraging signs when you look underneath the hood that prices are coming down. Next week, we have the FOMC meeting, which is definitely going to be the main event. The Fed is expected to lower interest rates either by 25 bips or 50 bips. Markets kind of 50-50 right now, predicting 25 bips versus 50. I believe that they won't do 50 basis points because that might scare the market into thinking that something's really wrong with the economy. But we will see, right? It's still kind of a coin flip at this point. What is fairly certain is that they are going to cut. They're going to start cutting interest rates. The federal chairman told us that just a couple of weeks back. Outside of that, we do have retail sales on Tuesday, but the main event really will be the FOMC meeting later in the week. That is it for this week. Stay tuned for next week.